I want to welcome you to the vibes. On Chris Podcast, we believe energy is a form of frequency, and your frequency is what you frequently see. Our goal here is to get the information from the people who have it to the people who needed it through a form of a high-level conversation. Come and vibe out, because your vibe is your tribe.
Yeah,
so let's
I
ride.
trust your judgment now. I've tried to put my 2 cents in, and nah, it's just
No. Listen to wifey, man.
bro. Lately, like, shit, God has been revealing so many things and people to just be like, bro, listen to your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm grateful for that.
Okay.
Yeah. What about yourself, man? You married or?
Married, 17 years.
Wow.
17 years, bro.
Congratulations,
Thank
bro.
you. 17 years, two beautiful boys with her, and one on the way.
Really?
One girl on the way. October 1st.
Any names?
That's the most difficult part right now.
I bet.
With the boys, it was, you wanted that masculine name, and it sounded really masculine. Hey, we're good to go, But with this one, she sent me a meme the other day. It's about this guy, and he's like, Rebecca? No, it sounds too serious, Stacy? No, that's too sweet. I can't be mad with a Stacy. I don't know if you've seen that one. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing that to see, what's going to be her name. But any name. And then she comes from, I come from a big family too.
Mm-hmm.
But hers is way larger. And I'll start shooting out names, She's like, no, my cousin's name is that. Or my tia's name is that. Or the name of my cousin's daughter is, I'm like, oh, my God. We're never going to make an agreement, We're never going to come to an agreement. Let's just think about out the box. So, I don't know. We still don't have a name. We're thinking about, a few. Hopefully before the baby's born, we have something.
Dang.
Because we can't come up with anything.
Man, what if you don't? What's gonna happen? Hey, how long do you have actually after born to name them?
I think. Well, you know what? The funny thing is that she works doing that. She's a clerk for the county, so she'll go in and get names from the parents once the mom gives birth,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll come home every day. And she's like, "Oh my God, I bump into this patient, and she didn't even know what to name her kid."
Yeah.
And this was before she got pregnant, and now that she's pregnant, I'm like, we're in the same situation. So hopefully, but she says that you have to have it within a couple of days. They'll give you about a day or two to think about it.
Oh wow.
And then you have to give.
It's kind of short.
Yeah, because then it goes into the.
Yeah,
record,
I get it. I guess. Yeah.
We have a couple. But it's just the ring to me. Like she wants Isabella, and it's good. I like it, but I'd like to keep something more. Because none of our kids have a Latino name. They're all like
really?
Americans. They're like Ethan. And those are my boys from her marriage. I had a previous marriage.
Okay.
My oldest daughter, she's actually 25.
Wow.
25 from her previous marriage. Then my second oldest is 19. So I have Ashley and Amber. More Americanist, Then I have Ethan and Isaac. Isaac still se pasa como Latino. Isaac, right?
Yeah.
But then this one, I have no idea what we're going to do. I like Sochi, but I don't know if that's too Hispanic.
It's like Aztec, no?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, how would you spell it actually?
XO.
Oh,
CHIL.
okay, definitely. Yeah.
So,
Because I've seen it with the Z and I've seen it with the X.
I keep an X.
X.
Or Xiomara. I don't know. It's something about
Xiomara. You know what?
XI.
I haven't heard of Xiomara in a while. When I grew up, because I was born in '94, so in elementary school there was a couple of Xiomaras.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how now that name? How would you spell that?
See, X
With the X?
XIOMARA.
Damn, you're not gonna pick Alexis or? Every time I hear Alexis, that Kanye song comes to my head.
Man. I can't do that. No. And then my last name, it's Mash, MASH. So, whenever I had a doctor's appointment or anywhere else, you go and like Mash, you expect this probably white dude coming up.
Mr. Mash.
Mr. Mash,
Come right in.
And this little 5-foot guy shows up, brown dude is like, no, not Jesus. We're looking for Mash.
They gotta check the ID.
Yeah, like you have an idea. It's right there, Mash. So the last name, the name has to match. With
I was about to ask you is that like your actual last name, like Mash?
Yeah, Last name.
Both of your parents Latinos?
Yeah. Guatemala. Background
Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Is that like common out there? The last name Mash?
Not the last name Mash, but that type of name, it's common, in our country. Like you have different. You have your common Martinez, Lopez, Hernandez, Enriquez. You have all those, right? But you also have these, like mine, Mash, and then you have other. I don't know them off the bat, but you do have a couple that you're like, wait, that is not like Aztec or Mayan or Hispanic, And for example, Mash, I asked one of my grandmothers, as my grandmother actually, where that came from, and she, she was very old, and she briefly told me, that's a German last name. And I tried to look into it, and I think it was much longer, but as time has passed, it's gotten shorter and shorter and shorter. And I've done research online, and there are a couple Mashes out there, Mid-City, or not Mid-City, I'm sorry, Midwest, I'm sorry, here in the United States, but just not here in California. It's some other states. So
yeah, Midwest. I would. Yeah, you'll probably bump into somebody with that last name.
Yeah.
I would say. So how far have you gone back, like, to your roots?
Not too far. Not too far. Just my dad's grandma and no, my dad's mom. I'm sorry, my dad's mom, and that's it. I've asked her, where we came from or what's the background, but she was like in her late 70s already. She was already like forgetting a lot of stuff. So, and I was a young teenager, so whatever I asked her didn't really sit with me. I was like, all right, cool, all right, bye, grandma.
Kind of asked to create the conversation.
Yeah. But I've always been curious too, like, hey, where did our last name come from? Who was my grandpa, and where did he get it from?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mash, bro. So we gotta make sure that the last name Mash matches with her name. So Xiomara Mash? Nah. See, that's why my wife's like, no, man.
Xiomara Mash. What do you think?
Nah, you see? That's why I was like, no, veto that name. Veto, man. Xiomara.
What was the other one that your wife wanted?
No, well,
Isabella.
Isabella.
Isabella Mash.
I wanted a Vanessa Mash.
Okay.
Vanessa.
Mash. Yeah. That kind of rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then my wife also, women think different than her. She's like, what about the acronyms? Let's think about the acronyms, for last name. I'm like, oh my God. You're complicating this.
VM,
more,
IM, XM.
I can't complicate this. You're complicating it too much.
Do any of your children have middle names?
They all do.
Okay.
They all do.
Is your newborn going to have one?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think for middle name?
Well, for middle name, I want Esperanza. That I do want it. To me, it has it resonates with when the time frame that she was made, right? My wife and I were going through some stuff and a very difficult, moment in our life. And it was one of those moments where, is our relationship going to continue or not? And is there esperanza for this relationship? Is there hope for it? And,
Wow.
like every couple, we have our ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, and it everything worked out. Gracias a Dios, everything worked out, and obviously we're still together, and the pregnancy came in, and I always tell her, like, you know what, I really like Esperanza because it marks a time in our marriage where we could have separated, gotten divorced, or but instead of that, we got together, and we were able to go over that hurdle and that obstacle, and we're still together, But yeah, it was a really rough time.
Yeah,
really rough time. But we made it happen. So, and then she came along.
Man, Esperanza.
But then Esperanza Mash is like,
this kind of rolls. Xiomara Esperanza Mash. Kind of rolls.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Call my wife. Let her know that, please.
I don't know. What do you think?
Dos tres, right? It kind of.
Hey, I like it. Xiomara Esperanza Mash. That's cool.
When you add the middle name,
Sounds a little bit different, right? Yeah.
That's cool. You know what? But it's an advantage though, because we haven't had the blessing of having our first yet, but I was contemplating on having a Chris Jr.
Mm.
You know, but my wife was she was like,
Nah.
no, because at our office there was 5 Chris's at one point. You know,
Yeah.
one of them was Christian, and the rest of them were Christopher, which is
Oh,
me.
okay.
You know, I was part of one of the Christophers. So the wives had to call us by last name because they would just say Chris, and
Everybody.
everybody turns around. Yeah, and then not to mention, I mean, Hernandez is more common than not, really. So, you know, I kind of had my heart set on a little junior. I mean, if we even have a boy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't get to pick that, but now I see her point of view. I'm like, yeah.
You know, my wife wanted to do the same thing with my son, Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, let's put him Jorge. That's my 1st one,
Mhm.
right? Hey, let's make him a junior. And I said, like, no. I want him to have his own, you know, his own personality, his own name. You know, just I got my name because my dad, that was his nickname in Guatemala. You know, that was his nickname, Jorge. And then obviously, well, he named me that, and my wife wanted to be like, oh, let's put him Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I don't. It just doesn't resonate well with me either. You know, that junior part is like, no, que sea su propio nombre. You know, so we went with Ethan.
I really like your point of views, man. Like the way you see things. Because I hadn't seen it like that, but you're right. I saw it more as like, hey, let's keep the legacy going, type of deal, you know.
Yeah,
But you're completely right. Why not give him his own plate?
yeah.
You know, like you fill that plate up, bro. Like we got our own. Like that's you.
And then worse, imagine just fast forward. He has a bad credit score, and then when the letters start coming, who is it for? Daddy or son?
Not around here. He'll be disowned around here, bro. If he
I
has
know,
bad
right?
credit, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We're actually in part of the credit business too. So it'll be like, son, disowned.
Yeah.
Disowned.
Fuera.
Yeah, fuera. You're taking your wife's last name.
For reals. Yeah.
Damn, bro. So where did you go to high school at?
I went to Belmont High.
No way. I'm sorry. I because that was where I first started working.
At Belmont?
Yeah, when I
Right down Lucas in 3rd?
Yeah. Yeah,
man.
Belmont Heights. There's only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only one. I started off right there as a restroom attendant, then a custodian. Believe it or not, there's a position below a custodian, like below a janitor.
No way.
Yeah,
What does he do?
I just clean restrooms, bro. Yeah, and then I promoted to be able to clean restrooms and classrooms. Then after that, I became plant manager 1, 2, 3. And then I was over them and all that, but it all started at Belmont, and Belmont taught me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, every school's tough. You know, every school's tough. It was very tough for me back then. Right.
Yeah, man.
We had all these gangs.
What
Yeah.
year did you graduate?
99?
Oh, yeah. I
We're
was
like,
in
what,
the-
5 years old?
Yeah, well, I graduated in 2012, but yeah. Well, it's because I talked to shit. You might even know him. His name is well, now he goes by Adam El Cocinero. No, he has
He was a
He's-
student at Belmont?
yeah, East Los Masubi. No,
What
he-
class is he from?
Damn, I do gotta ask him on that, but I know he's from the 90s too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but well, was it tough? Cause like you like what was super tough about it besides the gangs?
Well, for me, it was that part, you know. Coming here to LA. Well, I wasn't born here. I was born in Guatemala. We migrated in '83, so I went to school. The elementary was Hoover. Then from Hoover, Berendo Middle School,
Yeah.
and that's where it got tough because that's when you get introduced
Yeah.
to. Well, you try to fit in, right? Do you fit in with the soccer player kids? Do you fit in with the gang members, or do you fit in with the cool kids? So you try to find a spot, right?
Yeah.
That's the first part. And then when you don't find a place where to fit in, and now you go into high school, and you still gotta find another place where to fit in. That made it more difficult, you know. And I remember within the first week, those were fights, bro. Those were fights. You know, they caught the wrong person at the right place at the wrong time. I'm sorry, like in the restrooms. It was done, bro. It was done. You know, how many times I didn't see horrible fights. You know,
Yeah.
2-3 guys on one. Ba, 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 ba. And it was a wake up call because I was in that path. I was enjoying that in junior high. You know, I decided to be with the wrong circle, and thankfully because of my dad, you know, he was very strict. Never joined a gang. Never was an active gang member. But I was always surrounded with that environment.
Yeah,
know?
you hung with them and all that. Yeah, I feel you.
And well, you grew up in the streets. You know, I had a very strict father, and he kept me out of that. He was very strict. He was like, if I ever find out, you know, that you're messing with that, así te va a caer.
Yeah, you're going to get double bullet putazo. Yeah. Your ass whooped over there and when you come home.
And so, you know, obviously going into Belmont, you see this 5'11", 6-foot guys that then, you know, gang members, and it's like, shit just got real. You know, are you really going to go with that lifestyle, or are you going to straighten up? And I make mistakes like we all do, right? Mm-hmm. But I always say I like to learn from them the very first time. So that's when I joined ROTC. I don't know if you've heard of that program.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
It's not there no more. It's not at Belmont no more. They removed it a while back.
Well, no, because I was there 2013 to like 2015.
Yeah.
There was well, I don't know if they went somewhere else, but there was an ROTC program.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. Now
maybe in those times, but right now, yeah.
Like right now, I don't know. I left like 2015. Yeah.
So yeah, I decided, and I'm like, nah, you know what? This is more better for me.
Yeah.
You know, and
the rotunda was active, huh?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Bro, like that thing. Yeah.
Everywhere you had a spot, you know, by the theaters, you know, you had the rebels, and back then, you know, you got rebel crews and taggers and whatnot, and
because my boy Adam, he told me that like there was a couple of shootouts in the school.
That too, you know, over there by the football field.
Yeah,
by the football field, and there's nothing about, you know, Belmont versus Marshall.
Yeah.
Back then, those were days that, hey, if you weren't gonna go to those games, like the Garfield, right? Garfield.
That's where I saw
games.
my first stabbing, man.
Yeah.
At a
football game.
Yeah, at Roosevelt versus Garfield. And it was an old head too, bro. Like that fool was like in his 40s. I was like, dude, what you out here like active for, you know? But I'm like, dude, at this football game, like, nah, bro. Like I get it. You want to be active in the streets, doing your thing, yeah. But like, you caught it right here at the football game. But I was like,
your time passed already, you know.
Hey, man.
But yeah, bro, it became difficult. So then that's when I said, you know what, nah, let me just lay low. You know, lay low. And I had a ponytail back then.
Okay.
La moda. Esa era la moda antes, you know. I had a long ponytail.
You know, you still got a couple though. And does that actually come from like Guatemala? Was that kind of like a style from over there?
You know what it was? That was my dad giving me that haircut. That was all my dad. You know, he was like, nah, he had one. You know, I had one. My little brother had one. It was like he wanted us to grow up like that. You know, so we had one. I had one going into high school, and I remember seeing this big, fat Latino guy. He looked chino though, you know, and he's skinhead, all skinhead. But he had one from the top of the top of the back of the head, all the way back, close to his waist. And I was like, Jesus Christ, and straight up cholo, you know. And I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
And then the longer the ponytail, like the downer the was. Nah, for real, bro. Yeah.
Very intimidating, bro. Very intimidating. And again, that was just like, nah, I made quick decisions there. Like, no, this is not gonna be the lifestyle for me, you know.
Good.
Just stuck to ROTC. That's where I made my best friend. Been friends with him 25 years now. You know,
that is
really
dope.
Good friends. Just decided to be there. Went up the ranks, promoted, tried to stay straight, you know, make my parents feel proud. Won a couple competitions, won a couple first places. Got bored of it, did sports, cross country, track, volleyball, soccer. So I try to stay active mainly, you know, try to do the right thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, sports will definitely kind of teach you everything you need to know about life.
Yeah, discipline, responsibility,
respect.
Yeah,
it'll let you know that, hey, bro, It's always somebody bigger and better.
Yeah.
So A, you must always continue to learn, and B, give it your best.
Bro, it teaches you how to work in a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
B, learn your place, learn your role, right? Master it,
Yeah.
so you know what to bring to the table.
Right.
But at the same time, I think it shows you how to take a loss. You know, how many times don't you go out there thinking like, hey, we're gonna win this game. We have the right team members. You know, we're gonna execute and we're gonna come back with a victory.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, it's like, fuck, we lost.
And it's usually against the ones that you're like, these fools?
How? Yeah, like
Like
how?
these fools? Yeah.
How? And you know, just small mistakes. So right there, you know, you learn with those losses. Like, man, it humbles you.
Yeah.
It humbles you because you think that, you know, you're untouchable, you're unstoppable, and yeah, but sports do teach you that.
Definitely does. Because you know what? Like, I going back to middle school and high school, I hung around with a lot of, like, yeah, you know, the gangbangers, because in my opinion, you kind of had to at a certain point. Maybe not hang around with them, but you had to be well acquainted with them. If not, you were fair game walking home.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I tell a lot of people that are like kind of quick to judge. I'm like, well, listen, bro, like, if you live in that community, if you live in that area, and both your parents got 2 jobs or a job, and you gotta walk your behind to school and back, it's of your benefit for them to know your name and for them to know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, because if not, like, either you're fair game for them or you're fair game for the other bullies on the other side of the block, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then between them, there is a fine line. You feel me?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I went through the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? It was either you know them for the right reasons or they're gonna know you for the wrong ones. You
Yeah.
know, and besides that is that I was the oldest.
Mm.
Yeah, oldest. So I didn't have a brother till I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you had sisters?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
it was my brother David, then my sister Heidi. They're 1 year apart, and then my brother Sam, who's the baby right now. He's 19 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I remember, you know, once you get that taste, that taste of that brotherhood, you know,
Yeah.
being in a gang is like, damn, there's the homie right here, you know, el carnal, and
Ride or die.
yeah, like, you know, we're gonna walk together every
That's
morning, you know,
right,
and
boo.
we're walking like this. Hey, you watch that way, I watch this way, you know. It becomes, you become a soldier, you know.
Adrenaline.
With that, yeah, the adrenaline, bro, is that fucking adrenaline that we get as man. And all right, bro, like, hey, for lunch and nutrition, you know, let's kick it right here, all right, you know. Stay posted and watch. What are we watching, bro? No one's gonna come and get you. You know what I'm saying? But you play this movie in your head, and then, you know, eventually you recruit and you get the other little homie, and you get the other little homie, and now you know you got A track versus B track. Back in the days, there were tracks, you know, like, hey, fuck these fools, you know. And then eventually, you know, you're like, hey, I want to hang out with the guys from the block. You know, that's when shit gets serious. Like, nah, this is another level. You know?
Yeah, because you quickly get introduced, bro. Like, you know, and then, hey, se caes bien, you know, and then you find yourself, you're like, oh, damn, yeah, you probably shouldn't be in this room.
Yeah.
Just by being in this room, I can find myself behind bars.
Yeah.
Not even doing shit, bro.
Yeah.
Just by being in that room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember, you know, working with the guy that I'm telling you, he's my best friend. You know, just trying to earn some extra money, you know, doing security work. We got shot at. Not being a gang member, but obviously, like you said, being in the wrong room, there were gang members around there. And we were securing, you know, that location where we're doing a flyer party back in the days, you know. And sure enough, here comes a rival gang. Pop, pop, pop. We're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And you're with the wrong circle. So, you know, if you're smart, you learn from those lessons. You're like, nah, this ain't for me, you know. I'm here trying to make bread to bring to the table. At the end of the day, you're just trying to be responsible, you know. But there's other ways. There's other ways. You just got to be smart about it. And I think that, like you said, to your point, you know, when you're young, you gotta make those decisions. It's like whether you're known by them or for the right or wrong reasons, you're open game, you know. And that's something that me now having 2 boys, you know, it's something that I look at them and I'm like, man, they're not street smart. I'll be honest with you, bro. They're not street smart. My oldest, and it's like, how do I teach him that? How do I teach him, without bringing him into the gang world? And I have a responsibility because I still want him to be street smart, so I want him to depend on me, but at the same time, know how to defend himself, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we go out, I'm like, hey, just be aware of your surroundings. That's it, Be aware of your surroundings, and because especially in the days that we live in, we're living in days that there's a lot of negativity, a lot of bad stuff out there. So I tell him, hey, if you see something wrong, just hey, Dad, check this out, and I'll check it out. And if you're right, I'll tell you, like, yeah, let's just cross the street,
Yeah.
So I think that me doing that with him, it's more safer opposed to him doing it with his homies from school, and them trying to figure
That they're
things
also
out.
naive. Yeah.
So I'm still, I gotta hold his hands, but in the neighborhoods where I'm raising them, it's all Asian, it's calmado, very calm. So when we go to downtown LA and we go to the alleys, he's like, "Oh my God, Dad! Like, hold my hand. What's this?"
There's a lot of tension. There's a lot because, like, look, we go to church in Pasadena, and as soon as we get off that freeway, like, there's literally a whole different vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? Like, it just, the energy is completely different in that entire city. There's a lot more greenery. The houses are much more spread apart, and like, you're not watching your back. You're not, looking at, like, damn, fulanito over here keeps on walking a little too close, and like we're 3 blocks away, type of deal like that.
Yeah. So I gotta get him street smart. My little one though, Isaac, he's the one that we gotta be. Hey, let's watch him. Watch him because he's coming in hot. And I gotta slow him down. He's the one that
That's the youngest.
Yeah, that's the youngest.
It's usually like the youngest, no?
Oh my God! But you know what? My wife goes like, she'll late at night. When you're having those conversations with your wife and you're just trying to catch up, she'll ask me like, "Hey, was that you when you were a kid?" I'm like, "Fuck, do I admit it, or do I say, no, that's you?" You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
That comes from your side. I'll tell her, like, "Sabes qué? Hands down, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
That was me." And I'm like, bien dicen, lo que cosecha uno siembra.
Oh, man.
And it's in the DNA.
It's like, I don't know if your mom ever told you, "Los vas a pagar con los tuyos."
Yeah. And you know what? To the T, bro. To the T.
No, and then the señoras at work would be like, "Que Dios te bendiga con puras niñas." And then I would just look at him and be like, "Okay." And then now I'm like,
No, puro producto pa' hombre. No, bro.
yeah.
Going back to Isaac, como dices, lo vas a pagar con tus hijos, and I hug him, I love him. I go down on one knee and I look at him like eye to eye, and I tell him like, "Hey, slow down. You gotta slow down, Papa. I worry about you." I vocalize to him what I'm feeling as a dad, so he could also have like that acknowledgement, like, "Oh shit, somebody does worry about me."
Yeah.
I gotta hold him accountable too. Like, "Hey, dude, you just can't be running around."
Bro, people underestimate how important that is.
Communication.
Well, not 100% communication, but them knowing, the youth knowing, especially your own blood, knowing that somebody does care.
Mm-hmm.
Because keeping it real, like a lot of the ignorant stuff that we did, or naive, whatever you want to call it, at a certain point, personally, I felt like nobody was at home that really cared.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's not that my parents didn't. It's just that, like, they were always busy just trying to put food on the table that you feel like you were just put on the side.
Yeah.
You feel me? And for the majority of the time, like, me and my sister, we were home alone. So I was, you just running about, and one thing leads to another, and you just kind of stop caring because you think nobody cares. So that you telling that to your son, like, having been there not so long ago, that's so powerful.
I had a breakthrough when my dad got deported. My dad got deported like 3-4 years ago.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
And as a 42-year-old man, I could tell you, like, shit, I miss my dad, bro.
Yeah.
I miss him. I'll have nights where I get emotional. I'm like, Jesus. Like, I wish I had him right here where I could hug him and, you know, kiss him and mess with him, like, I love you, Dad. And that guy moment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what can I do so my boys have that? You know, because just like I want it with my dad, I'm pretty sure they're gonna want that too with me when they get older. You know, so I gotta start planting those seeds as of right now. You know,
Yeah.
and I remember that one of the things that I didn't have with my dad was that, you know, that communication, that, hey, I love you, or mijo, you know, none of that stuff was there. You know, growing up in the 80s, it was very rough. Like, hey, you felt, get up, you know, shake it off and keep pushing, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like that with my boys too at times, you know.
No, well, you
have
know, it's
to.
called tough love. Yeah,
Yeah,
At a certain
yeah.
point, bro. Yeah.
You have to.
You're
you
raising
know?
men, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, and I'm gonna try to link it with mental awareness or that,
Yeah.
you know, that month that we just passed. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta let them be able to express themselves and their emotions, you know, and know what I love you is, or just hold them accountable to their consequences, and like, I'll feel that guilt, like, yeah, you messed up, you know. And I'll tell you right now that he's coming in so hot that he gets injured frequently, right? Either stomping his hands or his fingers, or coming home with a ripped lip and bloody mouth. I'm like, oh my God, here we go, you know. So I'll vocalize and I'll tell him, like, hey, look, you have to slow down. Dad is not there to watch your back. You know, I'm not there to catch you. And you're running around at 100 miles per hour, you know, and nobody's gonna love you or protect you like I do. You
Yeah.
know, everyone's just, you know, just watching. Oh, he got hurt. All right, let's send a note home. He got hurt. You know, that's the end of it. But I tell him, like, me as your dad, I know it's not gonna fix you. You know, so I'm trying to teach you, slow down, because I don't want you to keep hurting yourself. And you're hurting yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you're doing all this on your own. And at the end, who's worried? I am. You know,
how old
what's
is he?
next? 5?
5.
Yeah, soon to turn 6 in September. Next couple months.
By any chance, is he good at math?
Very good.
Yeah.
Look, bro, that kid knows multiplications already, man.
Yeah.
He's already like, Dad, test me. Hey, Dad, tell me ask me what's 9 times 3. You know, he's not like ones or twos. He wants the 3s and 4s. And you know, while I'm showering him, I'm like, hey, I'll pick his brain.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how do you learn that stuff? I just count by 4s or by 9s. You know, I like to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And he's very book smart, very smart when it comes to math. That's crazy. You asked me that, man.
Yeah. Everything that you're describing, that it used to be me as a little kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, like my mom had a very hard time, bro. Like keeping
slowing
me
you down.
Yeah, but it's like, look, I heard this from a nearly billionaire, bro. He said, like, doctors and teachers will try to diagnose me with ADHD, but you know what I call ADHD? And they were like, what? It's like the CEO disease, because you don't stop.
Yes.
You don't stop.
Yeah.
But the thing is, depending on what that energy is focused on,
Yeah.
it is gonna grow.
Yeah.
Shit, you can be the number one, like the main head, bro, of the
Yeah.
biggest clica. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or you could be the main head of the biggest community service in the community, or whatever the case is. You know, number one in your math class. The problem is that things are gonna come real easy,
Yeah.
because he's not gonna lie on his resume that, oh, I'm a quick learner. No, he for real is a quick learner. You know, like everybody puts that in their resume, quick learner. But like because he's a quick learner, things are gonna come easy. But it's just finding what he actually likes, so that he can focus on that.
I agree with you.
Because like, I look at it like, man, if you found what you actually want to do as a profession or a career at age 10 or 15, I'm like, wow, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine who you're going to be by age 20.
I agree with you.
Like that life is going to look completely different.
So, to your point, right,
Mm-hmm.
about being the CEO of biggest clica, or the biggest business. When he started kindergarten, his teacher was my oldest son's teacher, right? And she was very excited, happy to have another little Mash in the class.
Yeah.
But I put her to the side. I'm like, hey, this is not the same. It's not gonna be the same rodeo. You know, this one's coming in hot. And she's like, oh, I got it. You know, don't worry about it. But parent conference for open house came, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, how's it going? You know? And she's like, you were right. You know, you were right. So, but she told me, how are you dealing with it at the house? How are you working with it? And I told her,
Yeah.
you know what? Out of my 4 kids, he's the only one that's like this. And I don't know how to deal with it. You know, hands down, I don't.
Mm.
And I don't definitely want to deal with it the way my dad dealt
Yeah,
with
of course,
it
of
with
course.
me. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I have to break those chains.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, look, Mr. Mash, what you have here in your hands is it's an actual and just natural leader.
Yeah.
He's a leader right off the bat. You tell him, hey, do this. No. He's going to find his own way of getting it done.
But he does it.
And he
Yeah.
gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what surprised me. I'm like, how do you know that he got it done? You know, he's not being rebellious. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he just, sits there and doesn't get it done. No. He'll hear me, he'll listen to the direction, but he won't do it like I'm trying to tell him to do it. He'll go around, find another way.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, you have a natural leader right here. And he's going to challenge you because he has his own ideas.
Right.
He's programmed differently.
It's the way. So check this out. There, and I always remember this, and this comes to me like very frequently. It was like 2nd grade, and the teacher, believe it or not, the teacher would have a conference with my mother because I was going ahead of the class. So we had a workbook, right, of math.
You finished it before everyone else.
Yeah, and I would continue because I'm like, dude, I'm eating these things up, like
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. And now, I'm like, dude, if I was a teacher, this is what I would have done. I would have been like, you know what, ma'am, like, your son is instead of saying being disruptive, it's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm being disruptive because I'm going faster than them. So obviously, I need to be put in an advanced class or skip me a grade.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, I was skipped a grade,
Yeah.
but my mom sent me back because she said I was getting bullied. And like to this day, bro, it still burns me, But
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, God knows why the timing is and
Yeah.
everything, right? But the one thing that I always wondered, like, how would I have been able to channel all that energy differently is if my mom would have put me in martial arts. Because I didn't get into martial arts until I was an adult. I was like 22.
Yeah.
22, 23, and I started doing Muay Thai, and I did it for a little bit, and I was like, oh man, like this is so dope because like Muay Thai, like martial arts, it's kind of like math. You feel me? Like you do this, you do that, but they can hit you with this, so you got to know how to counteract, and like it's just so much strategizing.
Yeah.
So the way that your child's probably much smarter, bro, now with all the advantage of the technology and stuff. But the way that I used to process things is whatever the teacher said, I'm looking at it. I have a very, very vivid imagination. So I'm sorry. Well, yeah, vivid imagination. So whatever you're saying, I can instantly like see it,
Visualize it.
it. Yeah, it's like if you're talking about, hey, a red brick wall, but enclosed with a red window right there. Like as you're saying it, I'm visualizing it, and that's what always allowed me to just go a little faster and go, like just go for it. While everybody else is kind of like, okay, I'll process it. Teacher, tell us when to start. Like, nah, baby, we gotta go.
Yeah.
You just want to run.
And you know what? He did come home a couple times with a red card, right? So they have a program where you did good, you get a green card.
Green card,
You
yellow
did
card,
alright, you
red
get a
card.
yellow card.
Yeah.
You did bad, you get a red card. So he brought home a couple of red cards, and one of them was because he was going ahead of the class. So I said with my wife, and I'm like, hey, man, this is not right. This is not a valid red card because this is messing up his momentum. He's in the rhythm. Let's feed that rhythm. Let's
Yes.
feed that fire.
Yeah.
So I had to put him to the side, and I told him, hey, look, man, you're going to bring me all these colors, At the end of the day, I'm going to be the one that's going to not justify them or okay them. But if you really messed up, the red cards is going to be because you were actually disruptive, right? You were talking while you were not supposed to, or,
Yeah.
with your friends or whatever. So, hey, if in those instances, there would be repercussions here at the house. But if you're going ahead of the class and you're kicking ass when it comes to math, I'm not going to punish you here at the house. If anything, you're demonstrating that you have advanced skills.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, you're good. You're good in my books. You're not in trouble. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that I tell him, like, be open with me. Tell me the truth, so I could understand what's going on in here. Because you're going too fast. Excuse me. You're going too fast for me,
Yeah.
And it's strange that you said that martial art because he's actually a orange belt in
Wow.
Taekwondo
Okay.
at 5.
Yeah.
And I talk to my boys like you and me are talking right now.
Yeah.
I don't hide anything from them. You know, sometimes a bad word is gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, hey man, it's got that sailor mouth, right? And I tell them like, look, especially Isaac, I tell him like, you're too advanced. You're doing things that 4th graders, 5th graders, maybe even 6th graders should be doing.
Yeah.
And those challenges for you come easy. You know, you overcome them, but then you get desperate. Like you want more and you want more and you want more. I'm like, we really gotta not slow you down to your pace, but
Yeah.
just organize you a little bit more, you know? And I remember when he was promoted from yellow to orange, and this little buddy was just sad because he didn't cut it. He didn't cut it. So, you know, I asked the master like, hey, what's his problem, or why didn't he promote along with the rest of the class, you know? And he said, look, he does his high kicks like he should. He's
Right.
the only one that can do the splits in the class. He knows what he's doing, right?
Right.
But it's that 100% that we need every day from him, consistency. And I'm like, fuck, but he's just 5. You know, how do you want him to be consistent? But at the same time, I'm like, no, this is good for him. He needs to learn at a very young age what consistency is. And to your point, can you imagine him at 15 or 20
Yeah.
knowing what consistency, having that in your DNA? What can you do at 15, 16, being consistent? You'll be good at any sport. You'll be good in any skill at school, you know? So it's just funny that you mentioned that you did also martial arts, because that's what he's on right now, you know?
Yeah.
And I can't wait for him to not literally kick ass, but, you know, just
Yeah.
go all the way to his black belt and see what he can do. You know, he's a very good, smart kid, a lot of potential, but we have to know how to guide it the right way. That's a big responsibility because,
Yeah.
again, the streets, social media, you know, all this stuff. They have a lot of what's the right word?
Influence.
Influence.
Yeah,
A
bro.
huge influence, bro. You know, and that's the challenge as a dad. Like, hey,
I bet.
you get 30 minutes on the phone, you know, and let me see what you're playing. Let me see what, you know. I
Yeah.
play with them. They're into Roblox, you know, and I get in there and I play with them. You know, we'll do a private server, and I like gaming. You know, I got my PS5 at home. I'll play my games. But I go into their world too, not to micromanage them or babysit them, because I do trust them, you know. And as kids,
Yeah.
they're going to mess up. But I
Yeah.
also want to be there ready, you know, one step ahead. You know, like, hey, what are you guys doing here, you know? I don't want to show them like I gotta hold your hand for everything you're doing. I'll let you go here and there. You know, I want you to fall, you know, on your own, be able to pick yourself up, but be careful what kind of falls too. You know,
Yeah.
The influence right now in social media, it's the biggest challenge as a parent. You know, so be ready.
Yeah. Well, I ask myself these questions, and I also ask people that are there already, or that are there already, really, because people that already have been there, they definitely have valid things to say about raising a child, but it's a different era right now. You feel me? So all the things that you say, believe me, like we both take them down, because we're next, and it's gonna be the same obstacles, if not only possibly even a little worse.
Well, see, my biggest challenge were the streets, right? Growing up in
Right.
the 80s and 90s. Now, it's the stuff you see in social media. Within 3 seconds, they'll teach your kids to hate certain race.
Yeah.
You know, within 3 seconds, they'll teach them, you know, that there's more than male and female, and it confuses them. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And they feel that they learned everything. And how do you not completely raise that, but say like, no, that's not the right teaching, you know. So
Right.
it's a huge challenge. But
Well, I mean, the hardest part that I see is this. Definitely you definitely at a certain point have to say, hey man, live and let live type of deal. But when you're a child, it's very hard to do that because you are so gullible.
yes,
And you're like, oh, let's talk about the genders part. Oh, there's more than 2 genders. Oh, okay. But now you're growing up in that. we can be like, hey, man, Mental Health Awareness Month was last month. You feel me? You got some issues. And more than likely, you might have been molested. More than likely, you might have been physically and mentally abused. And you just haven't dealt with it. But now there's an out. There's an easy out.
Yeah.
And for you to find that brotherhood without really having to say what happened and relive that. But the thing is, as a child, you don't know that yet. You know? And we went to college, to Cal State LA. We graduated in 2017. And for a second there, I was getting sucked into it. But the thing that kept me out was, I looked around and I was like, God damn, bro, I'm the only one right here with the full-time job. And all you guys, I wasn't the only one with a full-time job, but I was one of the few with the full-time job. And guess what? The ones that had a full-time job or a part-time job, they never bitched about the assignments. They never asked for extensions. They just got it done.
They're on the grind already.
Yeah. And guess what? I had a full-time job and basically like a part-time job because I did a lot of overtime. And frankly, I was young. I still partied. You feel me? But the other ones, my other peers, they already had kids and a full-time job. And they were full-time students. You feel me? So then I started seeing all these other peers as weak. You know, and that wasn't the right interpretation. I wasn't wrong, but it wasn't the right interpretation to only have. It was more of like to see like why. You know, I never asked myself why. I was just like, nah, you're weak. Yeah, they were. But why?
What's the reason behind it?
Exactly, because that's what matters.
Yeah.
That's what matters. And you know, then I started developing because I'm like, look, bro, what's the benefit of you telling somebody that they're fat? They know it. They see the mirror, you know. They know how those pants fit. But when you find out why they are, then you can actually help, right? And that's something that I had to learn, and I'm glad I did. But I'm telling you, for a second, I almost got sucked into that crowd, to that whole like leftist agenda, and I'm glad that I didn't. You know, the people that I hung around with also helped out a lot. I always hung around with a lot of hard workers, and they ain't got no time for BS, bro. Like, you know, they got families to feed. They got moves to make, and it just seems like there's never enough. There's never enough coming in, so they don't really got that time to be, you know, talking about these things that science has proven for centuries that it is what it is. You know?
We were having, right now that you mentioned that, I remember we were having dinner with my wife and the kids on TV, right? And I can't remember what show it was, but I think it was, I can't even remember, bro, because it was a kid's cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And they were feeding, well, I think it was something, it was something gay, right? But then I saw my kid's reaction, the 6-year-old, right? No, the 9-year-old, Ethan, the oldest one. Saw his reaction. And you have to be aware of these, you know, body languages that your kids are giving out, because they say a lot, you know? So I paused it after a few seconds, and I'm like, hey, how'd you catch that? You know, again, I have these conversations with them. It's open, you know, they're completely open. And, you know, it came down to the gay talk, right? What's gay, what's lesbian. And I found myself like, damn, I'm in that talk now, you know, where how do I let him know that whether it's bad, whether it's wrong, how to perceive this, you know, because you have to be careful how you plant that seed. Does it come out like an educational seed, or does it come out like a hatred seed?
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in the 80s again, bro. You were gay back in the 80s. Big words coming out down the street, you know. Pinche.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, this,
no
this
te juntes
weird-
con ese porque se te pega.
Yeah, you know. So I told him, hey, look, man, I'm gonna give you two explanations, okay? I'm gonna give you the social one, the one that we all see right here on a daily basis, you know, in El Mundo.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna give you the religious one,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And I want you at the end of the day to make the judgment. And my wife was there, you know. And again, I had to be very careful because I grew up with a lot of hate, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up with a lot of hate, you know. It was
Same.
like we're superior, we're better, and you don't mix, you don't do this, you don't do that with other races, you know.
Yeah.
You stick to your race, you
Yep.
know. And again, you got to break those chains. You have to break those chains in order for there to be a more positive change in your future with your kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, look, man, this is what the Bible says, right? And this is how the community says as well. So at the end of the day, you tell me what you think, you know?
Yeah.
And to the point is, I told him, look, mommy and daddy were able to have you. And that's God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if daddy was with another daddy, we can't be making any babies, you know, and that's not God's plan. At least the religious point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we also got to see that there's also happiness in other places, you know. Girl with girl, they're happy. Boy with boy, they're happy. And are they hurting their neighbor? Are they, you know, influencing other people? So it just became a huge snowball,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, okay, I'm getting too deep into this. So I had to backtrack a little bit. But at the end, it's like I told him, hey, look, baby, you don't mess with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You let them be.
Yeah.
You see anything that, you know, to you doesn't seem right, hey, it's not bugging you. Déjalos vivir. Tú síguele. Tú sigue con tu vida, you know? You focus on your thing. You focus on your family like I'm focused on you, and let everyone else do whatever that makes them feel right. We're not here to judge nobody. We're not here to you know, point fingers, because guess what? You point one finger, look, there's three more pointing at you.
Mm-hmm.
Be very careful, son. You know, and it's those, again, that influence on social media or what they're going through. It's a bigger challenge. You know,
Yeah.
it's a way bigger challenge than what we grew up with.
Have you ever heard of Patrick Bet David?
No.
So that's the CEO of our company, and how do you call it? He has a podcast called the PBD Podcast, and Valuetainment is his channel, right? And he talks a lot about, he's a numbers guy, so he brings out statistics from the 80s, from the 60s, from the 2000s, and the current ones, right? So back in the 2000s and in the 80s, the statistics of like homosexuality was, or gay, including lesbians in there, it was very low. It was very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
And now it more than like,
It went up, right?
yeah, but like it's drastic. I think it was like 4% or 2%, you know, that the population would say that they either felt or were or were gay. Now it's like a crazy number, like 30%. So it's, once again, you go to influence, and then not only that, not only social media, because now it's pushed into the school system.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like I see more gay flags than I do American flags in the classroom. And I'm like, what? Like, so why do the American flags matter is because of nationalism. What does nationalism mean? It means that you're proud to be an American.
Right.
Now, America does not have the best history, bro.
Right.
You know? But what country does? Right? And what country can you do what you can do here in America?
Right.
Right? So is it a beautiful history? No, it ain't. It ain't. But is it a much better present? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just what you choose to see. Do you choose to see the negative and focus on that? Or do you choose to see the positive and take advantage of what you can to grow and grow your last name?
Mm-hmm.
So I began to think about it, and I was like, okay, if you believe that, you know, you are this gender, that gender, you're a woman, you're a man, when you're the opposite sex, when you believe in this flag, why is it that you don't allow me to display my belief of
Right.
God?
Right.
Because you can't talk about God. You can't put an image of the cross in school or in government owned facilities.
Right.
Right? But you can put up the flag. That flag. And I'm like, that flag represents beliefs. Right? What does a cross represent? Your belief.
Right.
So if we're gonna talk about equality, well, shit, I would say that's equal. Like, why can't I put my cross next to your flag?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's when I started seeing, like, wait a minute, like, this is intentional, bro. This thing, like we're literally making and changing laws that affect the whole country for a super small percentage of the population.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's when I really started, like, diving into deep state, what BlackRock is, who funds the school system, you know, who funds the politicians, you know, and who funds ¿cómo se dice? The healthcare system.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, that's when I started being like, okay, like, now I can really navigate through this current world,
Yeah.
you know. And that's actually towards the end of college. That's when I started getting into what used to be considered conspiracy theories, which now all check out to be true, you know. And yeah, man, damn, I just went in that deep wormhole over there.
That's a whole different other podcast, bro.
Yeah, it is, but Jesus,
But you
man.
know, just to piggyback on what you're saying, I feel that in the 42 years that I've walked these streets, you know, I've seen that this generation that's coming in, it's and it's gonna sound kind of weird the way I'm gonna say it, but I don't know how else to put it, but they don't take being gay serious per se. They feel it's like, oh, it's just another. It's
Kind of like the cholos now, bro.
yeah.
Like,
you
you're
know?
just sagging and you're all tatted up and blasted in the face. It's like, nah, fool. Back then, dog, if you
That
got
meant something.
First of all, if you got a head tat, bro, not just any homie in the hood can get a head tat, bro. Like, it had to mean something,
Yeah.
bro. You know. And now you got fools that haven't even caught a fade, bro. Let alone a body with tears.
Yeah.
You know. So I see it, like, now it's like, oh, you know, I'm gay, and it's like, nah, bro, like, no, you ain't.
No, you're not. you're not. You're just curious. You
Yeah,
know?
you're
finding
a little bike
excuse.
curious.
Yeah, you know, that's
Yeah.
it. Keep it like that. And it's disrespectful, bro, because I saw gays in the 80s.
Yeah.
And these guys like they struggle.
Oh yeah.
They struggle, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they paved the path for all these new kids to come out and say, like, oh, I'm gay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, no, you're not. You're taking it as a joke.
Yeah.
You know, you're just trying to experiment with it and see kind of like if you find yourself in there. But yeah, bro, it's a whole different topic. Like you said, we're gonna go into different hole with that. But
Well, look, I'll touch on one more thing with that, because, like you said, like, it means something different now, right? Than what it used to. And the biggest problem that I noticed was, like, terminologies are changing. So even the gay community, like the originators, you can say, the ones that actually took the beating for being themselves, they don't even side with this LGBTQ community.
that's going on right now.
Yeah, because they're like, the problem is that there's a lot of pedophilia going on. And they even changed the name of pedophiles to child attracted minors. What sounds worse, pedophile or child attracted minors? Pedophiles, right? So I'm like, dude, why are you changing the name?
It's the same.
It's the same thing, but now it sounds differently. So your children, they don't know what a pedophile is, but they know what a child attracted minor is, and it just doesn't sound that bad, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound that bad. Laws are changing to go easier on pedophiles also. So the gay community is getting bundled in with this LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And now they're getting the backlash of people that are beginning to stand up, and they're getting bunched in with them. So a lot of the gay communities, not LGBTQ, but gay communities, are beginning to stand up and say, hey, we don't stand for this. and we don't stand for pedophiles. Like, yeah, we love what we love who we love, but we ain't part of this.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the tides are turning, because there's a lot of flat out, bro. There's a lot of lost souls
Mm-hmm.
in that community.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Satanism in there, and I think at the end of the day, what we have right now is a spiritual war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the biggest one that we've seen in centuries, really. Yeah. So man, I'm thank you for the prayer before this, by the way.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we got to start at least every morning. You know, anything that we do, bro. I
Yeah.
grew up in a Christian home.
Mm.
You know, and Pentecostal church. But as I grew up too, you know, I saw a lot of things that I didn't like in churches, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, I can't be part of this. You know, there's a lot of a lot of
Oh,
fake
yeah.
things, you know, happening in there, and I was like, nah, I can't bring my kids and have them learn all this stuff either, you know, because this is not real. This is not only not the truth, but this is making a mockery out of an actual God. You
Mhm.
know, God ain't playing games out of here. God doesn't work like that. You know,
Mhm.
I've lived like firsthand miracles. You know, that I've seen God doing in my life. You know, I've seen guys that were supposed to die, you know, because they got shot so many times, and God made a miracle. And even doctors are like, dude, you were not supposed to make it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen people. It when I met my wife, you know, I never told her she's Catholic, you know, and I'm Christian, and I never told her like, oh, we gotta go to my church. You know, you gotta be Pentecostal, and you know, we gotta go get down. You know, with God, none of that stuff. But it's just very basic stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
hey, a quick prayer before our meal. You know, a quick prayer before we go to work. First day of school. You know, a quick prayer with the boys. You know, just putting everything in God's hands. The reason behind that for me is teaching my boys to depend on God. You know, you cannot do anything. In my experience, you cannot do anything without at least considering it and putting it in His hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's in His plans for you to have it, He'll open you doors. You know, and if it's not, in that prayer, say, "Hey, Lord, give me that understanding that this wasn't for me. Give me that peace, you know, and let me be okay with it." You know, a lot of things, you know, that I did when I was young, it was just like al romplón. Let's go ahead and just get it done. You know, it didn't work. Oh, what did I do wrong? You know, like you don't understand it. But I've learned, you know, if you put it in God's hands, you know, God will give you even the reasons why it didn't work out, and He'll give you that peace.
Right.
You know, like, hey, man, look, it's just not your time. You know, even my business where we met, you know, I put it in God's hands, and I'm like, hey, if this is something that it's for me, you know, that is gonna cascade down to my family, open me doors. If it's not, I know I invested in it, you know, and you know about investment is nothing cheap. You know, when you invest, bro, you invest, and I'm like, give me that. I hate losing. I don't like to lose, bro. You know, if my team loses or it's losing, I get
That's
impatient.
good though. You need to have that in business, bro. Yeah.
And I said, you know, if it's not for me, give me that peace where I can easily let it go.
Right.
And you know, and give me another challenge, you know. So yeah, even like I said when we first started right here, you know, in my prayer I was like, let you be the one speaking over, you know, this mic, not me, you know, not my thoughts, not my ideas, because my ideas, the way I was raised, I'll tell you this much, that they won't click with the generation that's going on right now. You know, my ideas are completely different, really dark. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, George, you don't think like that. You know, that's not the way things get done nowadays. So even that, you know, Lord, let me just try to understand what this new generation is trying to do. You know, give me that patience to be able to take it day by day. there's a lot of things that my older kids and you know that they're doing that I'm like, oh, why are you doing this? You know, this is not the plan I had for you. But then God is like, wait a minute, they're not yours.
Ooh.
These are not your kids.
Yeah.
Sure, you raised them, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna work with them. Now they're adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now if they, you know, now if they want to get something done, they'll learn just like you learned. You know, you did things, you know, without me,
Yeah.
and then you got the hang of it, and now you're doing things with me, and look how it's going. You know, they'll have their turn. But as a dad, you know, you don't want them to run against these walls, you know, and you wanna kind of prevent it from happening. Like, hold on, slow down, you know, slow down. There's a wall right in front of you. But what do we say when we were young? I got it.
Yeah.
You probably couldn't do it, but I can. I know I can. Okay, dale. You know, the best I can do is just be right here to catch you. That's the best I can offer you now. It's gonna hurt me as it's gonna hurt you, but I'm here to catch you. You know, and that's the best that we can do now. I don't know, at least with the oldest ones.
Yeah, man, I could definitely see that.
Because with Isaac and Ethan, you know, they're still young,
Mm-hmm.
and I have those conversations with them right now.
Yeah.
Because when they get to that age, I don't want them to be like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you were never like that with me. Why till now? You know?
Yeah.
No, I want you to,
Yeah.
I want you to know that as of right now, I worry about you. I want you to, as of right now, what was it? 3 weeks ago, you know, again, Isaac, right? He'll challenge you. He'll challenge you. It's like, yeah, I'm small, but it doesn't have to be your way, Ethan. My oldest one, right? It's like, no. And then I have to tell Isaac, like, look, Ethan has 4 years ahead of you. And I give him an example. Ethan has walked that street for the past 4 years. He knows where the dogs come out from. He knows where the cars are parked at.
Yeah.
You know? And what to you may seem like, oh, I love Ethan only. No, I trust Ethan.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he's already walked that path for the past 4 years before you. You've been walking it with him, you know, for 2 years per se.
Yeah.
Next year, I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to tell you, hey, are you ready to walk that path by yourself? Because it's coming. You got to walk it on by yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you might tell me, yeah, I'm ready, or maybe, no, I'm not ready. And if you tell me I'm not ready, all right, cool. It's fair. Don't be ready, you know? But get ready because you're about to start walking it by yourself. And when that time comes that for you to start walking that path on your own, is because, yes, I do trust you now. So be patient. Wait for your time, you know? You have to wait for your time, son. You just can't say, because this is him like legit telling me, it's okay, I got it already. I already walked the street once already. I already know where everything's at. And I'm like, no, I know, Papa. I know you know where everything's at. But you know what? You're human. You'll forget something.
Yeah.
You'll forget, and then you're not going to know how to react, you know, to that dog coming out. You're going to get scared. I'd rather you remember, hey, there's a dog coming. There's a dog on that block. I know how to react to that already. You know, or I know to go the other way, but you're just like, no, I got it already, puppy. Like, and I like that. You know, it's a good trait to have. You know, that confidence in himself.
Yeah.
Right. But again, we just gotta guide it in the right direction.
Yeah.
On how to properly teach him, because I don't want him to be a little badass, you know. I got this, you know. Like, no, you don't. You're gonna go and slam yourself against that wall, and you're gonna come crying like, I didn't get it, you know. I'm like, I told you, man.
So, like, something that I had to learn the hard way was this: smart people learn from their own mistakes.
Yes,
wise people learn from other people's mistakes, and
I like that.
I like to think that I compare it to boxing. You know, there's a lot of great boxers like Hugo Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
But he's not all. He didn't age well, right? Because he took a lot of hits, and he's probably smart, bro. He definitely knew how to fight, lay it down, and all that. Great career.
Yeah.
But now you look at Mayweather. Mayweather was wise. People to this day make fun of him because, like, oh, you don't stay in the pocket, and you know, like, darle. But he knew that it was about
different
points.
method.
Because boxing is about points at the end of the day. You know, yeah, you could try to throw haymakers and knock him out. That'll, for sure, you won. But he saw longevity. He paid attention to the ones that had been there, done that, and back.
Mm-hmm.
and he chose to learn from them, be coachable. You know, so I seen that, and I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, hey, man, smart people, they get shit done, bro. You know, you still gonna have a good life, but like, how do I want to end? Because keeping it real, like the folks that we grew up around, like they were probably like some of the hardest workers that we know.
Yes.
But financially, bro,
Yeah.
I seen people doing 1/5 of the manual labor they were doing, and they had 5 times more money than they did.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get older, you find out what money truly is, and money is just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how big is your tool belt? How big is your toolbox? That's how many problems you're gonna be able to solve. You know, and when I got to that, but the thing is, how do you make the youth figure that one out, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you make the youth understand that one? That's an answer I might have to find out for myself too. But I hope that this sheds a different light, you know?
Yeah, it's a challenge for the youth, but again, they have to, darse sus trancazos
Oh,
to get it on
100%.
his own. You
Yeah.
know,
Gotta touch that hot stove.
you got it. Yeah, yeah. I say I had because I haven't been in contact with him for a cool minute, but a great mentor. He was my boss when I worked at Home Depot. His name's Danny, and huge, not only Laker fan, but Black Mamba fan, and that guy, was very sharp, and we're the same age, but different success, he was he is district manager now, and
Big title right there.
and I sat down with him and I pick his brain too, and something that he taught me was it's a give and take, it's a give and take relationship, George.
Yeah.
You can never just be dame, and we gotta teach that because, for example, going back to my oldest kids, they're girls. They're girls, and I wanted to raise them to be independent women. They became too independent. Like, oh man, they're too independent. So, Amber's like Isaac per se. I remember when she was in junior high, I was gonna check her homework, and she was like, "What are you doing?" "Yeah, I'm gonna check your homework." And she's like, "You don't have to check my homework." And as a dad, I saw that as a challenge. Like, what do you mean I don't have to check your homework? I have to check your homework, And she said it straight out, like, "Look, I'm not like Ashley, my oldest friend." She's like, "I'll get my things done." I said, "All right, I'll tell you what, man. I'm not gonna mess with you. Parent conference comes, and I see your grades are not what they're supposed to. You're gonna go with my program, okay? I'm gonna check your homework. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna collaborate on what we have to do right here to make it successful. Other than that, if you're doing what you're supposed to, I'll leave you alone." Come to find out, bro, this was in 6th grade. 6th grade, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. I never went to one of her parent conferences. And I know that could be like, damn, dude, that's sad. You didn't go. No, I had the time. I was always there, Of course I did because I wanted to go hear how good she was doing. But the deal was that I wasn't going to go if she kept her grades up. That girl never brought her grades down. Never. She was taking honors classes, AP classes. She was doing sports. She was doing a lot of things that were challenging to in the male field. For example, she wanted to become an engineer, and that's a very dominant male dominant field.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, you know what? This is what I wanted to do." And I'm like, "I'll support you." So in Pasadena, they have programs like we would drive her down there, and she was going into colleges and doing robotics and whatnot. And I'm like, God, man, this brain, this little mind is going somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she slowed down. She slowed down right now. She got her own challenges too. But like I tell her, like you gotta keep going, man. That momentum cannot die.
Yeah.
That momentum gotta keep going because just imagine how much more can she be doing, And like I told her, hey, when you guys become actual independent women, I'd like for you guys to get a house already by yourself, your own car, and have your own career And I'm gonna tell you why I told him. Because as a man, I failed on my first relationship, which is with their mother. You know, I'm like, that's a failed relationship right there. But if you guys fail as a woman, are you guys gonna come home to dad's house? Or if Shay hits a fan, of course, my house is always gonna be open whenever you guys are gonna come back home. Hey, that's your house right there, you know. But I would rather have you say, you know what, this relationship is over with so and so, you know, and I'm not afraid to leave that house.
Yeah.
Because I already know what it takes to have your own house. I have my career. I have my own independent stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the mentality that I raised them with. And I wanted them to be like really sharp when it came to those kind of situations in life. Because, you know, there's the guys that are being raised right now. You know, I see some at where I used to work at before, and I'm like, man, you're too soft. Like, you're my kid's age, and I would definitely not want you to be dating her. You know, your way of thinking, it's not ambitious. You don't want something for yourself. You don't want something for your family. You're coming in late. You're not being responsible. You're calling off almost every day. You know, and I'm like, you what's going on with society? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? You think you're gonna wake up one day and just be a millionaire or what? You know, there's no grind.
Do you want to know the truth? They do. They do think that, bro. Like, they genuinely think that. Somehow,
It's gonna.
a video of theirs, and they don't even upload like that, but somehow a video of theirs is gonna go viral, and some millionaire is gonna sit with them and then open up doors.
Yeah.
Like, I promise you, bro, that there's a huge population of this generation that think like that. Yeah, bro. I was actually listening to a podcast, and this lady was saying that she's an entrepreneur. She has a couple of businesses, right? Still a small business owner, but she's hiring people, right? And she's like, you know what's something that really has tripped me out lately? And she's like, what? These young individuals are coming to these job interviews with their parents.
Come on, man. Their parents? Bro. My first interview, I remember I took the bus by myself. Pantalón de vestir, zapatos de vestir.
Yeah.
Shirt and tie, bro. Shirt and tie. You know, you had to sit straight,
Of
talk
course.
to your interviewer, you know?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was still in my generation. We would go knocking door to door. Hey, are you guys hiring? Hey, are you guys hiring? You know, and that prepares you for a lot of rejection.
You didn't take your mom, though?
My mom was busy doing other stuff, man. Shit, I would have asked my mom. She'd be like, "Eh, what?
You're stupid.
¿Qué quieres que haga?" You know, like, you know, my mom is very lovable. She gives out too much love, you know. But I think that she nailed it right when she made me independent. She told me, hey, no, yo te voy a enseñar a lavar la ropa.
Yeah.
Vas a saber cocinar. Vas a saber planchar tu ropa. Because the day of tomorrow, come to find out, you meet somebody that cannot do that. At least you can take care of yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not the case. I met a wonderful woman that, you know, she helps. She does everything for me, you know, that my mom taught me to do for myself, you know?
Yeah. It's good.
But-
it's a partnership, bro. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely, man.
Like, people
Absolutely.
don't understand, but like, to your point, like a lot of these young boys, they're not young men, they're young boys, you know. They think that certain roles are interchangeable, and at certain points, of course, bro, they are. Hey, if you fall extremely ill, like, hey man, there's certain things that, you know, let's just say mowing the lawns, like, you know, your wife might have to take over, right? You're extremely ill, but outside of that, is like, there's certain roles, bro, in the household that have a gender role, you know, and they think that I met this couple, bro, where they go halfers on everything, you know, and I'm like, once again, it's a partnership, you feel me? But they live together, and like, they split the they're engaged, and they split the internet bill in half, the rent in half, groceries in half, dinners in half, and right to the T, bro, right to the T. And then I'm like, look, bro, the way I was raised is like this. It wasn't that my dad covered everything. Ironically, my mother she kind of always made more than my father.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a little more on the complacent side, but he was there. You know, he took care of things, but a lot more on the complacent side. My mother was the go getter, right? Had more vision and stuff, and but regardless, my father always tried to take care of the bigger bills, right?
Right.
And that's what I do. I'm like, no, let me go ahead and take care of the bigger bills of and help me out with the excess, you know. And but I the way that we run it is like, I'll take care of the majority that I can, and if you can just get the surplus and put away the rest.
Right.
Put away the rest. So, you know, her bank account looks way different than mine's, but like, at least I know subconsciously, because shit, if it's in mine's, bro, it's getting spent. Out of both of us,
Yeah.
I'm the spender, bro.
Yeah.
We're changing that. We're working on that. We're changing that. But regardless, I'm like, dude, I don't feel comfortable, bro. I don't feel comfortable.
Wait, so I'm sorry. You spend more than her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too, bro.
Yeah.
My wife told me, you know what? You need to get your own bank account.
Yeah.
She straight out told me, like, you know what? We can't be in this bank account no more. She's like, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right.
Man, bro. You know what? Y eso que thankfully I've never had that itch for like Louis V, Gucci. Don't get me wrong, bro. And like I won't wear it, you know, but that's not what like my weakness is, you know. That thing ain't my weakness. Like my weakness is like, well, growing up, you know, didn't come from many means, bro. So there was a lot more no's than yeses, right? So once I became an adult, the biggest thing that keeps me going, my biggest why is simply I don't want to be poor, because I seen that being poor gave you zero options. You had to do what you were told, and most of the time you couldn't do what you wanted. That's it. As simple as that, you know. Of course, bro, it's being a provider and all that, but my main thing is I want options, baby. You know, you don't want to be playing the PS3 still. You want the PS5, bro. You know, you don't want to be playing in the TVs. You remember the TVs that still like clunk clunk.
Yeah, we had those.
You know, now you want the OLED. You know, you want that crispy, clean. Yeah. So like even right now, like I was like, hey baby, like I'm gonna go buy a drone. It went on special. It's $100 off. She's like, what are you gonna use a drone off? And I'm like, well, you know, catch me a cool video on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then what? Well, damn, you know, like I just shit.
Reality
cool.
check.
Yeah.
She brings you back to it. Hey, put your feet back over here, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you like that. But yes, that would have been a stupid purchase.
Yeah.
You know, because it ain't like maybe your daughter as an engineer could have used it more, like looking on top of the building and shit like that. You know.
Yeah.
For me, just for one video on the bike, but it's kind of cool, you know. You come over, you whip it out, but it's what,
she
5
doesn't
minutes?
understand, bro.
Yeah,
I get you, bro.
Yeah,
No,
bro.
I get you.
know?
And my girl's like that too. You know, 100% very supportive. Very supportive. We used to have a soccer team.
Oh, snap!
And it was nothing but adults. And it's hard to deal with 15, 16 different attitudes, you know, because everybody thinks that they know, you know, they know how to play soccer. Everybody feels that they're the Messis and Ronaldos, and everybody wants time in the field.
Yeah.
And she would just sit on the bleachers. She'd be sitting over there, and she had the clipboard, and she'd be like, oh, you know, just taking notes. And then one day at the house, you know, she was like, hey, take a look at this. And I saw it, and it was a whole squad. And I'm like, you came up with this? She was like, yeah. And I started looking at it, and sure enough, you know, she had the right players where they were supposed to. So the next game, I went with that cuadro, you know. I'm like, hey, we're going to do this 4-4-2 right here, guys. And everybody was like, all right, cool, you know. And we won. You know. So it's good to have a good woman on your side that, you know, they'll see a different vantage point.
Yeah.
You know, a whole different. And I'm not kidding about her telling me, you know, to open my own bank account.
Yeah.
Because I was using our money like it was just my money. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, hey, you're leaving me dry right here. You're going into my check. You know what I'm saying? So
the pot looks bigger.
Yeah. So, you know, she put me on check, and I was like, all right, cool, you know. But everything works out. Everything worked out. And going back to, like you said, you know, times are changing. Yeah, prices are going really high. and everything.
Yeah.
Restaurants, we want to go have breakfast with my wife and the two kids, and we got to bill like for 110, bro.
Yeah.
110, and it was waffles
Mm-hmm.
and burritos.
Where'd you go?
San Francisco.
Oh,
That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was like, wow.
it's $5 if you want to fart.
Careful where you're farting over there too. Bro. Send the wrong message.
Bro, like San Francisco. I look, San Francisco. It has nice views, bro, and this and that. But I don't like San Francisco.
No.
We've been there a couple of times. Everything is so narrow.
1.2 for almost 800, or between 500 and 800 square.
Oh yeah.
Can you believe that, bro?
Yes.
1.2.
Unfortunately, I can't.
No way.
Yeah, we were just there, right? I think like at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, last month. But yeah, now it's terrible with the crime and the homelessness over there.
Yeah.
Like a couple of high school friends, they stayed out there. They went to college out there and they stayed out there and they saw that I was out there and they were like, "Hey, you're over here in town?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, "Hey man, don't leave shit in your car." And I'm like, LOL.
Mm-hmm.
I get another message like that. I'm like, what the fuck is up with these fools? What you mean, bro? Like, granted, I don't frequent the areas that I used to around here in LA anymore. I try to stay on where people aren't so hyper.
Yeah.
But bro, it's extremely overpriced because, like, I can see, bro, if you go have a nice steak, there's a place out here called Moose Craft Barbecue in Lincoln Heights. Bro, you're not gonna go have a $50 meal there, but it's still a mom and pop shop. But oh my god, as soon as you're done eating, you're like, wow, I can see where my money went.
Yeah.
You feel me? Oh, they're in San Francisco, bro. Like, $110, couple waffles and burritos. You're like, dude, los de la esquina are way better. You feel me?
Yeah. Some wrapped up hot dogs would have been better.
Bacon wrap.
Bacon there.
Yeah,
So
bro. Shit, those even went up, bro. They're $7 now.
No
if
bro.
that. Yeah, at shit. Matter of fact, after the games, they're 10 bones, bro. Yeah.
Damn.
Remember, they were like $3 or $5, bro.
You know what? I come from the generation where they were $2. I grew up.
I grew up on 50-cent tacos still, bro. Yeah.
I grew up selling movies in downtown LA. VHS movies, bro.
Damn.
VHS.
Not even the Pirata DVDs. It's like in the VHS.
VHS, bro. Piratas VHS. And we were like, movies, barata las movies, and we'd be on the lookout. Like, cops would come, we'll pick up our blanket.
That's right. Yeah.
Inside into the mom and shop stores, And I remember, my aunt giving me $2, a $5 bill, and say, "Here, go get 2 hot dogs and sodas."
Yeah.
And you'd be able to afford that, Bro. So that goes back to what you're saying nowadays. You need double income.
Yeah.
Double income. To be able to take care of your homes.
Yeah, bro. Shit, I was having a conversation with someone and they were like, "Nah, bro, like, I take pride in, like, my woman not having to work and this and that." And I'm like, well, once you get to a different, like, once you get into home ownership, into like business ownership, into, like, essentially, bro, your bills get bigger, and so do your kids. Then, that privilege might get cut. And I was like, back in the day, I understand how, but I'm talking about way back in the day, like, before the 2000s, bro. And if you were born here, or you had a social to be able to work, I can understand why people would be like, "Hey, bro, why are you making your wife work?" Shit was affordable, bro. You picked up a full time and a part time.
Yeah.
Hey man, you can live in a duplex. Rent out the back, and your wife can be a stay at home wife, stay at home mother. She had that option. Nowadays, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How? Of course, if you downsize, yeah, a lo mejor todavía se puede hacer. But at the beginning, it's like us. We're still at our building stage, So at the beginning, like, hey, you're both working, you're both grinding, and at the same time, it's a beautiful thing to be able to create something with your partner.
Yes.
So like, yeah, there's so machismo in a flex in saying that, hey, my wife don't gotta work.
Yeah, of course.
It's definitely a flex, bro. And I'm like, hey, bro, if she don't, salute to you, player. What she doing? You know?
It'll be more flex if I tell them my wife works. I'm gonna stay home dad.
There's been conversations. There's been conversations, but I haven't gotten the
you
green
stayed
light.
at home? You stayed at home? If she made more money, would you stay at home?
I couldn't, bro.
You couldn't?
I could. Well, I could, but I would have to be doing something like this.
Yeah. Oh,
I would
okay.
have to be creating, bro.
Right.
You feel me? But I couldn't, dude.
Nah.
I couldn't.
See you with the kids right there, vacuuming.
Yeah. Fuck. Man, I'm trying to see it, you know?
Yeah.
Can't visualize it.
I think that as men, we even when we retire, like we won't stay at home. We have to do something, you know? We have to have a little shop where we're at least putting twigs together or something. We have to be creative.
A hobby, bro, you know, but like a serious hobby. Yeah.
I tell my wife the reason I got into the business, you know, the photo booth business was because many reasons, right? But I know you just said that, you know, your mom and your dad were working, right?
Yeah.
And you grew up with your sister pretty much alone.
Right.
My wife grew up with her mom by herself. You know, I was very fortunate that I grew up with both parents, you know, being at home. There was a lot of drama, a lot of, you know, 80s bullshit. but still, though, growing up with mom and dad, there is a benefit, you know.
100%,
huge
bro.
benefit.
We need fathers back in homes right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my dad was grinding. You know, he did construction. At 42 now, I see him and I hold him accountable, you know, and I felt bad afterwards. And I'm like, I should have never questioned my dad, you know, but it was that moment where I'm like, Dad, I'm earning kind of like what you were earning back in those days.
Yeah.
Why didn't you save? Why weren't you more ambitious? You know, why didn't you get us a duplex? Why didn't you do this, and that? I wanted to pick his brain.
Yeah.
But every man has his different, you know, goals, right? But my goal at least is getting my wife to stay at home because I know what it feels like as a kid coming home to a warm meal.
Yeah.
Getting picked up by your mom. I know it could be embarrassing, like, oh, man, my mom's picking me up or my mom's dropping me off. You know what I'm saying? I know those moments. But the value of having mom at the house, it's priceless, bro.
Yeah.
It's priceless. And that is what I would like to give my kids. Not the fact that, oh, we're making bank. And I could get you the flyest gear, you know, or the baddest shoes, or the most recent console. That's not the goal. The goal is having your mom here while I'm grinding, because the type of woman that my wife is, you know, she's very independent, dude. When I met her, she was changing her own oils, you know, del carro.
Dang.
She was that type of woman, bro, where she didn't need a guy. And I was like, it hit in here, like, wait a minute. I thought you were going to wait for me to come home and for me to do it. And I didn't even know how to do it, but she knew how to freaking do what she was doing, you know? She's like, ya se fue el agua de los wipers. I'm going to change it. And I'm like, I got it, baby. And she was like, I'm already halfway through it. And I'm like, fuck, like, that's my job. You know what I'm saying? But así es ella. Ella has been like, I got this, you know? Or trying to change the light bulb. She's not like, babe, can you change it for me? She'll change it. You know what I'm saying? So the type of woman that I have, at least, you know, raising these boys is what I like to have at home and raise them. Con esa, like, hey, ponte las pilas, you know, ve, separa tu ropa. Hey, it's time for you to learn how to wash. Today in the morning, my boy was, hey, Dad, can you teach me how to cook? And I was like, the wrong one, bro, because this is bacon. You know, bacon's going to start popping all over the place, and it's going to hit you in your face. He's, you know, yay height, the stove's down here, and te va a agarrar la cara, you know? But he's like, still, I want to try it. And it's like, I don't want to, you know, shut that fire down. I'm like, okay, pues, you know, come and get the tonsils and we'll go ahead and do it. So he learned how to flip, you know, the bacon today. And I'm like, all right, now you got a little tool under your belt. You know, ya sabes cómo hacer algo, por lo menos.
Put him a little face shield from COVID, fool.
Right?
Hey,
Little
bro,
face
I
guard.
I don't care. I'm like, dude, hey, con que se haga el jale, bro. That's what
right?
matters.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
That's right,
yeah, bro. So, you know, I would love for my wife to be home besides the flex and all that stuff, because I really see the benefit of my boys. You know, now my daughter, you know, that's about to join us in October. You know, I would like for her to be, and I tell her, like, I know the type of woman you are. I know you're gonna get bored.
Right.
I know you're gonna, because you're used to grinding every day.
Yeah,
You know, and doing
yeah.
overtime, and you like being active, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's find something for you, you know, and let's see what we could do. Because I know you're not just gonna want to be at home. I know, bro.
Right.
I've stayed at home a week with the kids, and I'm like, I'm losing it. You know, I'm like, I
Right.
want to go out and do something already.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm not a stay-at-home dad.
Bro, everybody talks about, oh, you know, I want to be financially free so I can retire and live at the beach. And I'm like, and do what, fool?
Yeah,
Just sit there and drink a sugar drink every day?
yeah,
I'm like, nah, bro, you need to be doing something, bro.
Yeah.
Because you get tired. Even like when you go on vacation, more than 3 days, I'm like,
want to go back home.
yeah, yeah,
something.
bro. Yeah. But I feel you on that. I mean, like, for me, our goal, because we've discussed it, and the main goal right now is you got a couple of things, right, that we're building on, and it's mainly for my wife to be able to work on our businesses.
Yes, yes.
You know, because the same thing that you said about your wife, like when you guys went and go play soccer and she was right there, boom, boom, boom. You probably were like, damn, when'd you do this?
Yeah.
You know, like, but it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. It's like, you know, maybe she was never even been a coach, but bam, she nailed it. And she was so detailed with it. And she's seen the assets and attributes of this person and that person. And she put them in a better place. It's like, dude, you got different strengths. You got different strengths. And a lot of times where I see relationships, let alone marriages, but relationships having a lot of problems and frictions is when you're both trying to do each other's strengths.
Yes.
You know,
You're
and
right.
and you're like, wait, well, dude, you're sometimes it's out of pride.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's out of like, hey man, I want to learn that too, or FOMO type of stuff. But frankly, when we started seeing that, because thankfully we have great mentorship within the company, and they tell us like, hey, when you're running a business with your partner, like, or your spouse, that's the biggest thing that you guys need to take, like, be careful about. Don't be each other's uplines. Seek mentorship outside, and for the business, you know, like obviously your personal stuff, you gotta talk it out.
Right.
But also, don't be doing each other's role.
Mm-hmm.
If your wife is better at communicating and you're better at bringing in the business, do that.
Yeah.
Do that, because as soon as you shift, your income's also gonna shift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, bro, maybe, you know, you should learn a little bit of this, like it would do time how to input payroll or stuff like that for
Right.
emergencies. But nah, you got to do your strengths, she got to do hers, and that's
feed it.
Yeah,
Feed
yeah.
it, bro.
Yeah, and constantly develop yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so this one dude told me this. He was like, "Yeah, bro, you know, you can have a new woman every year, bro." Like, hey, fool, like, not me. You know. And then he's like,
Me matan.
yeah. And then he was like, nah, well, you're supposed to. And I'm like, well, okay, elaborate, fool. You know, like, what you talking about? And then he's like, you are not supposed to be the same person that you were last year.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my wife, we're dating each other every single year
Yeah.
again.
That's important.
Every single year again. And then I was like, shit, you're right. You're right. You know, a lot of people are working with the same tools that they did since middle school. Now they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, you know? That's why I tell people, I'm like, listen, I've met 20-year-old men and 40-year-old boys. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, being older don't make you a man.
Exactly.
Being mature does.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you should always be a child at heart, in my opinion, because that's how life stays fun, male or female.
Mm-hmm.
But
Execute differently.
it's the sense of knowing when play goes into business, you know, knowing that difference, knowing when you got to stop playing and when you got to start working.
Right.
That's what differentiates a man from a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because by default, that includes responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit, okay, I grew up around pure 40-year-old boys, you know? I was like, nah, man, like, this shit looks bad. Like, because you're only going to get older. And if you don't have nothing that saved up, bro, you didn't even rank up within your company, it's like, damn, bro, and people aren't going to be willing to help you out no more.
Yeah.
Like your kids, still in their 20s, like, dude, they could fuck up people. Will give them a hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Us, like, they ain't. It's not that fácil to get the mano de la mano. Like, "Fool, you're an old ass head already.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
nah, you should know better.
You should be giving out the hand.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't get that slack no more. You know, here and there probably, but you don't get that much slack. But we man, this is we're gonna have to do a part 2. But in this part, I do want to touch on Mash 360. You know, Mash 360. That's what we came to sit down here for. Was
The
to
Mash
talk
360
to
part.
talk about your business, bro. So what industry is it in? Tell the people a little bit about your business, bro.
Well, Mash 360s, it's a photo booth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 360 photo booth. And the way it came out was because, talking about Esperanza earlier, right? It was around that time frame. And my best friend from Belmont, you know,
Okay.
shout out, Ganas.
Canas?
Ganas.
Ganas.
Ganas, you know, DJ. He's a DJ too. So
Right on.
he was playing at a wedding, and he goes like, "Hey, come through, you know, come with me. Get out of the house, get some fresh air, you know, and come out." And that guy's been straight up, you know, mentor.
Yeah.
You know, he's helped me a lot in different situations. And I said, "All right, cool, let's go. Just help you with the gear, you know, just get out of here." So I did, and next thing you know, and God moves in way different, you know, ways that you think that He may move, right? And like in the corner, going back to men and kids, right? I see this legit 19, 20-year-old kid, bro, and he's operating a 360 booth.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't pay no attention to them. Like that looks pretty cool, you know, nice little setup, whatever.
Yeah.
And then my friend goes like, "Hey, that's what you need to be doing, bro."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "That's not for me, bro. That's not for me, man. I ain't gonna be carrying packages and loading stuff." I'm like, "That's your industry, bro. That's what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
That's not for me."
And when you said that, like, was your objection like, I don't want to be hauling a bunch of shit around, or was it, hey, I don't want to be finding gigs and doing all that extra
Minimizing the labor, like, I'm too good for that, bro.
stuff? Okay.
I'll be the one
Yeah.
that tells fools like, "Hey, put that over here, put that over there."
Yeah.
And then he goes like, "All right." He was like, "Come on, let's go chop that up with him." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So we were talking with him, and I introduced myself, and the kid opened up. You know, he was pretty cool. And I asked him, "How difficult is it?" And he goes, "Very easy, man. Let me show you." Boom, boom. And he showed me within 2 seconds. You know, he had everything set up. When it comes at least to the way of taking pictures and the setup, right, for the videos. Of course, the most difficult part is just the labor, the setting up, right?
Yeah.
Unpacking the booth, repacking it, and whatnot. But anyways, when he told me how much he was charging or the amount of revenue that he was making, you know, at the end of the night, that's where I was like, "Oh shit, dude,
Yeah.
this is big right here." If it's in the right hands, you know what I'm saying? If you know how to manage it, if you have the right team, you could do something with it, right? If not, you just let it go to waste. And I fucking took it and ran with it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't sleep that night. I was just thinking like, shit, what do I do here? How do I make this happen? You know, how can I get it? So I asked the guy like, "Hey, dude, where'd you get it?" And he was a little bit, you know, envidioso. He didn't want to give me his resources, but I told him, "It's all good, bro. Don't worry about it." You know, I'm like, "You're good," because I came from the angle like, "Hey, and if you were to sell this, how much would you sell it for?" You know, and if I wanted to buy it, where can I buy it? And he was like, and he straight up told me like, "Oh, you just gotta find it online. You know, everything's online nowadays." I said, "All right, cool." You know, and sure enough, I went online. You know, did my researches, and through there, I found another YouTuber, and very savvy dude. You know, he gave us a breakdown of like what to get, what not to get, and he has a list of, you know, everything that's on his setup. And I went through Amazon and boom, 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 checked everything out, and I'm like, you know what? I think I could do this. You know, I'm very ambitious, very ambitious, bro, and an opportunist too. You know, And I said, you know what? I'm taking some time from my girl right now, and I think this is it right here. You know, this is where I'm gonna put all my time and effort into. You know, I'm not. I don't. In a sense, I don't have a responsibility right now. I could be responsible for this.
Yeah.
And I sat down with her, you know, while fixing the issues that we were going through. You know, and I told her, hey, listen, I like to do this, but for us, and it's not a sales pitch for you to, you know, for us to be able to get back together right now and whatnot. You know, I told her, like, what do you think? And of course, you know, she was still a little bit upset. And she was like, oh, I don't know, you know, I don't think I like your ideas.
Did you come with food?
No, I came empty-handed. I should have come with food, right?
Oh, man, you should have came with food.
And, you know, so I told her, like, look, and I get very excited, right? So when I'm giving her the plan, I got very excited. I'm like, look, man, just imagine 2-3 gigs a day, like, I mean, a week, you know, like, oh, my God, we can take over the world, you know. In 6 months, we're going to be millionaires, you know. But, of course, there's a lot of grind, a lot of hustle right behind all that stuff, right? So, so slowly but surely, you know, the first thing is, boom, I got the booth. I brought it home. I started playing with it. The boys stood on it. And as soon as I made that little thing, you know, little arm go around it, the boys got happy. And my wife kind of like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? She started warming up to the idea. And, you know, I started playing with it. I started making videos. And I started making videos with my boys, by myself, and playing with the software. You know, it's completely different. Everything comes out different. And I call my boy. And I'm like, hey, dude, I got the booth. And he goes like, shut up, man. I thought you said you were not going to do it. And I'm like, I thought about it, you know, and yeah, it's here. It's here at the house. You know, I got her and sent him pictures. I got very excited. And from there, you know, the advertisement part was difficult because I didn't have social media. I didn't have TikTok. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have Facebook.
Yeah.
The last that I had was MySpace. So I was like, dude, from MySpace to all this stuff, you know, liking and sharing. And I had Instagram for a very brief moment.
Yeah.
But, I'm sorry, not Instagram, Facebook. But Facebook has changed so much.
Were you one of those that had a song and a whole background?
Yeah, bro, that was it. You know, that was
a
what
little
was it back then.
playing right there.
And, you know, I'm like, dude, how am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because for me, it's word of mouth. Word of mouth is how we used to get businesses, you know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what, DJ? I got you one.
Still
you know?
is, but
you know,
but I feel you. Yeah.
But social media right now is what the platform.
Huge,
yeah, it's huge, right? So I was just like, man. So I opened up. TikTok was when I first opened up, you know, and I was playing with it for a little bit, and you know, I got more impatient than anything because nothing was flowing through and nothing was coming through, you know. So that's what humbles you. You know, being in the business, you know, rejection. You gotta have a strong, attitude to understand, you know, or be okay with rejection.
Yeah, I mean, look, you develop a thicker skin.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's this, bro. Like for ourselves, we work in the financial services industry, so we work with retirement accounts, and we also work developing, ¿cómo se dice? Life insurance, mortgage protections, and all that. Some people don't need the service, right? And at the end of the day, it's like, hey, bro, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Mm-hmm.
Some people already have it. Some people they don't qualify for it, right? So, and some people flat out don't want to even hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So the more reps that you get in, the more that I just like, oh, okay, well, thank you. Do you happen to know anybody that might though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you get a little scandalous with it. You get a little happy with it, and they look at you like, bro, I just told you no. Why are you smiling? Hey, brother, we still alive.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
You gotta find a way.
Yeah,
we gotta keep grinding.
Yeah, we live in LA, bro. There's like how many millions of people, bro, here. You feel me? Just in LA.
And my friend called me to your point, he called me that first month. He goes like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Dude, nothing's hitting." You know, he was like, "Hey, no te agüites." You know, there's, and he gives me the amount of people here in Cali, and he was like, "Dude, someone's gonna call you. Watch, someone's gonna call you." And I'm like, "Dude," and then you start doubting yourself, and like, "Did I do the right move? You know, did I do the right investment? You know?" And and again, it wasn't a cheap investment. It's like, oh man. Should I? Because I had a couple ideas, you know, and I still have them. I'm still gonna go with them, you know. And look, dude, my first job was going and giving out, you know, those specials that come out for the meat markets, right? Like esta semana el elote está 50 centavos, la carne está 2.50, whatever, right? My first job was going and handing those flyers out, right? And I was getting paid $20 an hour, and this is 1995. I think that's when you were born, right? 95?
94, pero bro, $20 an hour. That's balling.
I was balling, bro. And I was 14 years old.
That's like nearly $40 an hour right now.
And El Coreano, you know, it was a little meat marketplace down there by 9th Street. And it's James Amswood now, I think it is. He told me, hey, $20, you know, go and just get these flyers out. Hey, bro, I was quick.
How old are you?
14.
Fuck, what are you doing with the money?
Giving it to my mom. Giving it to my mom. And at that time, my brother was a baby, and the Power Rangers had just come out, bro. So I felt like a big brother, and bought him this big frame, you know, with the whole Power Ranger. And that's the thing about me, bro. And I think that as men, we have that. We like to be providers.
Look, this is what I say. If a man makes $100, there's $90 or $80 for the family, right?
Yes.
If a woman makes $100, there's $100 for her.
Right? Somehow.
You know, they're givers, bro. You know, they probably give more than us. You know,
they
in the
give in
household.
many other ways. Bro.
Yeah. But financially, bro, like that's just how it is typically.
And that's kind of the same feeling right here with the photo booth.
Yeah.
You know, sure we have goals of like buying a house and retiring with it and opening even more booths, right?
Yeah.
But again, going back to just being ambitious, right? I was selling yo-yos, bro, when I was in 95 in Hollywood, right in front of the Chinese theater.
Yeah.
You know, my mom was a hustler too, bro. You know, she taught me how to be a hustler. We would be selling little teddy bears that she would go buy in downtown LA. And she would sit him down in a little wooden chair, and she'll wrap them up with see-through paper and sell them, you know. And I would go with her just to back her up in case of anything, you know what I'm saying? But then we saw this other older dude, and he was spinning yo-yos, selling yo-yos. And mom was like, hey, if I buy you a box, would you sell it? Let's go. I told her, let's go, mom. You know, so as a kid, you're calling more the attention. So I was a quick seller, and I was selling yo-yos left and right. So I'm all that developed a different attitude in me to even this date understand rejection and accept it. You know, a lot of people will come and take your business card, and you're like, all right, another seed, you know, that's getting planted. But then you're like, when are they gonna call me? You know, why aren't they calling me? They said they were gonna call me, but it was like that at the beginning, you know. And I remember for one gig, like you said about, you know, everybody knowing their role. I was doing all the software stuff. Yeah. And it was for a quinceañera. And I told my girl, like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Let me see what can you help me? I told her, like, hey, can you help me? And she was like, yeah. So I told her, like, this is where you get A, B, and C, and this is how you put it together. Right. Bro, that's all she needed. And she came out with this nice backgrounds. And I was like, are you looking for a job? Because I'm hiring. I told her, bro, I'll hire you right now. And that's what, like, when you're talking about knowing your strengths, you know, and I said feeding them, I told my girl, like, hey, you're good at this.
Women are very creative.
And I told her, and you have to also be humble enough to know to ask for help. Don't be embarrassed and don't be shy. Like, you know, I got this. No. I told her, hey, can you help me out? Can you do this? You know, like, please. And yeah, sure enough, bro, she got it down, boom, 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 and that quinceañera was a success, you know. But so it started like that, it's going like that, but eventually, you know, the goal is to be able to give back, give like legit talk. You know, I know we've been BSing a lot, or you know, chopping it up on different topics, but my goal, of course, like I said, getting the house, getting the wife, away from work, and having her invest in, more time with the house, with the kids, right?
Yeah.
But I met this one dude, and what he said was really impactful to me. I'm like, I want to do that. He gave back to his community.
Mm-hmm.
He gave back to his community with scholarships.
Yeah.
And we grew up in rough neighborhoods, And sometimes even right now, we just want that one shot. We want that one shot, to make it happen. And again, having that one-on-one talk with God, I'm like, what do I do with this? If this takes flight right now, what am I going to do with that money? Am I selfish and I keep it to myself? And I buy me a house in the hills and forget about everybody? Or do I really give this money back, right? And if I do give it back, how do I give it back? So that's something that I was thinking about. And I said, you know what? I think that if I would have had given that opportunity when I was in high school, I could have gone to college and had a career and, making six figures or whatever's right, making good amount of money, having a title behind my last name. And I'm like, there's a lot of kids in our neighborhoods that are not giving that shot.
Yeah.
So I said, if I can open up, becas for them to apply and I give back to them, that's my goal, So if we're starting small with the 360 booth right now and we could give back, even sometimes on the sales, I'll put like, hey, on my July sale right now, there's a sale going on, 50% off. Why not? We're in the 4th of July. Let's go ahead and make something happen. Let's get the momentum going. Let's give back to somebody that's struggling right now. Sure, I could make my money for myself, but what if somebody really wants to try this out? And you know what I've noticed? A lot of people say, like, when they see it for the first time, they're like, oh, yo quería agarrar una de estas, pero me daba miedo. I'm like, why? Because I thought the booth itself was spinning, but now that I see it, and I'm like, nah, come over, try it out. You're not gonna fall. Stand right here. You have fun. I'm like, oh, okay, pues, So people come. That's very attractive to people, and I like talking. Clearly, right? I like talking and educating people and the little stuff that I know. So right now, like I said, we got a sale going on. And I told my wife, do you think this is the right move? Is this the right move for us to be giving out sales? Like what's the goal behind it? What's the purpose? I'm like, because we're going to end up losing money at the end, But then we started thinking like, don't see it that way. She'll snap me out of it too. Like, hey, get back on the positive mentality. She's like, no. You God will open doors for you, So that's what we're doing with this, Not only it's all about us, And,
Right.
and I sit down with my boys, like I told you, we have these big boys conversations, and I observe how certain people move, how they carry their business, and not promoting, but there's this one dude right here at the Montebello Mall on the 2nd floor that has his machine business. Can't remember what the proper name is, but I took my kids, right? That guy has the most phenomenal energy that I've seen, bro, for a business owner,
That matters so much.
And that matters a lot, right? Yeah. And he came to my kids and my kids, and it's expensive, bro. Those are expensive machines to work with, Yeah. But his attitude, the way that he approached me and my boys, I'm like, dude, that's business. That's what makes your business shine. You're giving back. And he actually ended up giving back to my kids some free plushies, because that's what you do. It's a claw machine, one of those claw machine kids,
okay.
right? And I was like, dude, you got my business already. You know what I'm saying? And my kids have been bugging me every time that they do good. Like, Dad, I did good in school. Can we go there? Can we do this? Can you reward us? And I'm like, fuck it, let's go. Let's do it. So these guys have at home like all these brand new plushies, bro. We have a closet full of just all these plushies, right? Yeah. So talking about this, right, in the photo booth, I told them, hey, what are you guys going to do with all those plushies? They're just sitting there, And they're like, oh, well, we don't even know what to do with them. I said, look, I'm going to be part of this. I'm going to give back to the community with this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys think that giving those plushies out to the kids that are going to join us in that event would be a good idea or what, you know? And of course, as a kid, you're like, oh, but they're mine, you know what I'm saying? But I let them think on their own for a little bit. And my oldest was like, yeah, that would be a great idea because that will make them happy. You know, that will make them, make him feel special. Maybe they've been wanting one, but they can't afford it. And then he's just starting spinning his own wheels, you know? And I said, "I que mijo, like that. I like the way you're thinking. So is that a good idea?" When they have like over 50, 60 plushes, brand new plushes, bro, to just they're just hanging out right there in the house, you know? So we're going to be giving them away as well that day, besides, you know, promoting our business and whatnot. But we wanna be part of these organizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
That give back. I think that's an important thing to having your business, to give back to the community, to give back to the people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if I'm able to say, for example, with my first 100,000 that I make, right, I could come around and give back to my community at least $500 and becas for your books. I mean, $500 would sound pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$1,000, a scholarship. Why not? You know, send in your resume to the Mash 360s booth. Send a letter. You know, like send it out here. Let me know why you think you deserve this money. Why not? You know, and those are things that my wife and I have spoken about, and that's our goal. That's our goal, to be able to become this big business, big enough, but to be able to share the profits too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the goal right now, bro. That's the goal that we have.
Bro, while you saying that a parable from the Bible keeps on is going through my head, and you know when God was, there was 2 baskets, one of bread, one of fish, and there was like a multitude of like 2,000 people, right? They only had those 2 baskets. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, you know, he multiplied the bread and the fish and everybody got fed. It's like, well, that did happen, but that's not how it happened. He told them to start giving it. And they were like, but we don't have enough. Give it.
Do that.
As soon as they started giving, it began to multiply. So in order for you to receive, you must first give.
Yeah.
Like you said, hey, I'm planting the seed with my kids on certain different things. You feel me? But if you ever want your kids to be able to have something to give or to get from, you had to give it first and plant it right there. And that's what you're doing with your business, bro. Like when you give sales 50% off or whatever the case is, make sure you write those down too, because when it comes to taxes, bro, that's all a tax write-off. You feel me? Because hey, the 100% price was this.
Yeah.
This is. Let's just say, you know, $1,000. Give it 500, and boom, those other 500 is a tax write-off because it's a loss for the business. But that loss, that's a loss for the business. But that 500 that you didn't get, that 50% that you didn't get, it's how much word of mouth are you going to get there?
No.
You feel me? So at the beginning, it's how much can you get? How much can your face get out there? Are you the person? Are you the go-to person whenever they want to have that at your local community events?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, we're gonna have this. The night markets are very popular right now. You know.
Yes.
Like, oh man, we should have something right here, like for the kids or something like jumpers. You know what? Jorge Mash, he has the photo booth. We should hit him up. You know? And when you become a staple, like, yeah, it's going to cost you to become that staple. You feel me? Whether it's half off or sometimes going out there and doing it out of the kindness of your heart, you know? But, yeah, bro, it's all about how many hands can you shake, you know? That'll help dictate how much money you're going to make. Yeah. Your wife is dope. That should help you, you know, process that. Like, damn, 50% off, but we're going to have a sale. Should we do it? Should we not do it? Hey, man, do it, bro.
She's a huge support, bro. My wife,
Yeah.
I think that, you know, that's the best business partner that God could have put for me, you know.
Yeah.
Very strong, very smart woman. You know, she'll see things that will slip my mind.
Yeah.
you know, and
I
and I
definitely
always tell
see.
her like, hey, you know what? You believe me or not, I told her I prayed for you.
Yeah.
I prayed for you like to the T. Because I came from a previous relationship where hey, whatever I said, that was it. You know, there's no hey, but I think this, but I think that. No, and I'm like, Lord, give me a woman that has her thoughts. You know, that has her train of thoughts, and she can verbalize them.
Yeah, she knows how to express them correctly.
Yeah, que, que no se lo sea yo. You know, it's like
Yeah.
porque no es solo es mi hogar. You know,
Right, right.
And then she gave me her, and habla hasta de más, ¿sabes? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just
You know,
Yeah.
she's a huge support, and
Yeah.
you know, with this business part, como te digo,
Mhm.
it's scary, bro. It's scary because
Yeah.
again, there's times where we've been like, hey, nothing's coming through, huh? But luckily and fortunately, we have our jobs, right? We have
Yeah,
our
well,
Monday through Friday.
Look, this is the way you need to think about it, bro. You're working full time to pay your bills, and you're working part time on building your dreams.
Yes.
You feel me? So yeah, it's an amazing thing. I always tell people, I'm like, look, bro, when you're gonna start up your business or you're gonna try something out, it just depends on your character. But I would probably suggest to err on the side of caution and don't quit your job.
Of course.
Because one is your job, like I said, will outpay your bills and also fund, because everything has capital.
Right.
You know, everything has capital. Even if it's if the amount of capital to start it off is minimal, you should still invest into advertisement,
Yes.
right? So there's two things that you have to look at before you start a business. You got to ask yourself, am I money rich, or am I time rich? You know, if you have more money than time and you want to start something new, then you can probably go in and invest into a business that, you know, you needs a lot of capital and you can take care of it. But if you're money poor and you're time rich, then you should go invest into a business where it involves a little more manual labor, and you can give more time to, and then in the long run, yeah, it'll give you your time back, you know? So you're doing it the right way, bro. I understand. That's the thing about being an entrepreneur. It's a roller coaster at the beginning. Then once you get into the 2-3 year mark, you begin to be like, oh shit, this roller coaster's finally evening out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa, damn, there was another loop right there, you know? Yeah. So, and it's beautiful because it keeps you on your toes, man. But those upswings are amazing. And if you know how to, once again, if you know what to do on those upswings and how to plan for the downswings, then with due time, you'll be all right, bro.
Yeah.
You'll look forward to the downswings because if there's a downswing for you, most likely there's a downswing for your industry, you know? And the most billionaires are made during crashes. You know, there's so many billionaires that are about to be made within the next 2 years because of the way the economy is going to go.
Right. Yes.
And there's so many millionaires that are going to be made also, right? So in a sense, like going back to what we were talking about, like, you know, they put us against each other because of skin, because of sexual preference and all that. The reality is this, bro. It's those who have and those who don't. There used to be a middle class. I don't see that a lot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like middle class nowadays is like damn near 200,000 and above. You know, back then middle class was like 85K for 85K. Like you, all right. There's 1 or 2 vacations a year.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. Everybody there was you ate out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Friday, Saturday, and sometimes even Sunday or just the weekend. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now 85,000 is like, shit, you might even be getting weak sometimes, you know, depending on the size of your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bro, I'm super proud to hear everything that you're working towards the near future. Thank you for letting us be part of your story, because everybody saw Jorge Mash first on the Vibes con Cris podcast. You guys better be looking out for him, man. But what else do you want to share with us before we wrap up, bro?
Just, you know, give you a huge thank you as well, for this opportunity. Huge platform, for your followers. Thank you to you and your wife. I know that, you guys could have gone to the movies. You guys could have been on a date, but you're giving me this time. And time is crucial. Time is money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very grateful for that, Chris. You're giving me these minutes right here, these hours right here with you, and reaching out to your audience, to your followers, and just want to say thank you as well. If you need anything, if your wife needs anything, if your followers need anything, that's like generally the type of person I am. I'm here if you need anything.
Appreciate
and not only with the 360 booth, right? I mean, hopefully this is the beginning of a really good friendship, right? Where
100%.
we could look back 2 years from now and be like, damn, dude, look at that podcast, we were talking about this and that, and look where you're at now. I would really love to come back in the future and even with the scholarships, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even with the scholarships and you giving me this opportunity, if it's in you, why not do the scholarships through here?
Absolutely.
Why not partner up with you and say, hey, listen, man, we'll use your platform and let everybody know, like, hey, man, apply. Apply. There are funds.
Yeah.
There were no funds back then, but now the funds are here, guys, and I kept my promise. Me
That's right.
comprometo. Hey, the funds are here now, guys. Start applying. And we could announce the winners here. We could bring the winners here. You know what I'm saying? We could. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we think small, bro, we're gonna stay small.
Absolutely.
But if we think big, bro, and just imagine every year, bro, announcing winners here. To me, that would be amazing because, again, it's a big opportunity that God has given us.
Man,
Why did we have to meet, bro? Why? You know what I'm saying?
It's a coincidence, bro.
What? There you go.
Yeah.
What does your business have to do with mine? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? Are we just going to sit down and chop it up, or are we going to actually do something? Like you said about la parábola de la Biblia. What comes to mind for me is when God gave los what do you call those? Los dones. He gave one, he gave two, he gave three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One guy buried it, bro.
Yeah.
The other two, they want to do something with it. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna bury ours right here?
Yeah.
So if God willing, and once the money's there, I'm gonna call you up, like, hey, Chris, I'm ready. Let's make those announcements. And I would like to do it right here, because you're giving me my first shot. You're giving me the first opportunity. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful, very grateful, and if there's anything that we could do for your followers too, if they're interested in a 360 booth, why not give them a sale through here because of you? You know what I'm saying?
No, they're going to support full price, bro. They're going to support full price, bro.
Extra.
Extra.
Just
tip right there, man. No, but absolutely. If you guys need any photo booth services, but the thing is this, bro. There's a photo booth service, and then there's a photo booth service that is gonna give service to your party. And the reason why I connected with Jorge is because anybody can set up the booth, bro. But it's the energy that you bring with it. You feel me? It's the vibe that you bring with it. It's the hey, man. Yeah, nah, grab that. Yeah, for sure. That looks fine on you, man. Like, yo, your people at your party, at your gathering, they want to get gassed up, bro. You feel me? They don't want to be like, oh, be careful right there. Of course, don't keep your drinks on the side, bro. Don't damage the equipment either.
Yeah.
Pero, bro, at the same time, it's like you want somebody that's helping you hype up your party, helping hype up your gathering, helping hype up your guests, helping that tia get on the platform for the first time. It's like, no, esa cosa es demonio. Yo me voy a caer ahí, Yeah, no. But that's Jorge right here.
It's
Jorge,
experience.
Yeah.
It's experience. When I sat down with my wife and we said, what are we going to do this? Are we going to be the same type of photo booth?
Right.
Are we going to just put the booth there, let it spin, and let people like, nah.
Yeah.
I want to be able to bring everybody a whole different experience, where our presence actually makes the party feel something different.
Of course. Yeah.
Have your long lines. And a lot of people, are not tech savvy.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to, get something airdropped. Hey, don't worry about it. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it with a smile. I'll make it happy. I'll I'll make it user friendly for your guests, you know. And now
Yeah.
your guests know how to airdrop something that they didn't, you know.
Yeah, and
Just
even if they do, if they get a little tipsy, my man will help them out. You know?
absolutely, absolutely,
Help 'em out.
absolutely, man.
But with that said, we're definitely gonna link up your hashtags, bro. Also in the description. You only got Instagram right now, or
No, we have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
TikTok.
They're all under Mash 360s.
Mash 360. Okay, so just type that into any of those 3 platforms. Mash 360.
So it's MASH 360S. MASH 360S.
Mash 360. But all right. With that said, man, thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you, Chris.
I
I appreciate you too, man.
Thanks.